Hi guys, just waiting for a few more people to join the feed before we get going uh, with the Facebook live feed to Miss Fly. Good evening, Meg. Good evening, Jen. I hope you're good. Thanks for joining me on this live Facebook live feed tonight. I haven't done one in a little while. Um, so we're just waiting for the artist that I'm going to be speaking to. She goes by the name of Miss Fly, as you would have seen on the flyer. And I'm hoping that she can join us, and the technology gurus are kind to me tonight. Good evening, going out to Jennifer. Morph Tim, good evening, mate. How are you? Just waiting for Miss Fly to join us. Oh, nice one, Jen. Missed you too. Um, yeah, we're just waiting for Miss Fly to come in and join us as well. Yeah. So I hope you're good, Jen. I hope you and the family are well as well. I think I said good evening to Jennifer, didn't I? Yeah. So thank you all. Oh, I think she's about to join us right now. Yeah. So thank you all again for joining us. Nice one, Morph. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
1 second.
How are you? I just got a message saying that you were live, so I thought I'd join you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us as well.
You're welcome.
Sorry?
Yeah.
We've got a
Nothing.
few people that have joined us already.
Yeah.
So I think I said hello to a few. Robert G, Jennifer, Patricia. I think we're going to give it another minute or so, and hopefully a few more people will join us. So you all right with that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. How's your day been?
Yeah. It's been filled with lots of interesting things.
Oh, really?
That's
Hopefully,
pretty much it.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll get to hear about some of these interesting things so far in our live shortly.
Absolutely.
You know,
There's lots going on.
Your friends on the line, Morph Tim. Thank you very much, Morph.
Hi, Morph. My dancing partner.
Keep sharing, keep tagging. Please do share this feed, as we are going to be getting to conversation with Miss Fly about the new song that's coming out. Good evening, Nushi. Hey, Twimbo. Good to see you. Evening to Cassandra, birthday girl at the weekend. So evening, guys. Wayne, Manda. We've got quite a few people joining us tonight, Miss Fly.
No problem. Sorry, I'm just on my other phone trying to tag people to come in. Yeah. So if I
look down, that's good because me being a man, I'm not the best at multitasking while doing this. So I think I'll leave that. I'll leave that side of things to you. We'll give it one more minute, literally, because it's nearly 5 past now, and then we can start having our chat. Good evening, going out to Deborah, Miss Vibrant C. Good evening. Good to see you. And how's Ace? Is Ace with you as well? If he is, big shout out to you, Ace, as well. Good evening to Carl Batchelor. A lot of these guys, Miss Fly, are guys that listen to our show over here in the UK with Afro Soul London, as you are now the official First Lady, which is something we're going to touch on a little bit later on as well, how that all happened, which is quite interesting.
And I take my responsibilities very seriously. So
yes, and
yes,
and we have had to do that more so as well. Take our responsibilities a lot more seriously. Good evening, going out to Pamela, Selena joining us as well. Okay, big shout out to Ace.
Hey everybody.
To Sam. Okay, so it's 5 past 8 now. Shall we start?
Yeah,
to start. So first and foremost,
let's do it.
Just want to welcome everyone that has joined us on this Facebook Live. 10 for 10. Okay, so that is the second part of the live that we're going to do. The first part really is to talk about an amazing song which Miss Fly has made, has created with her team, Deep Soul Syndicate, and that actually is on promo as we speak right now. But as of midnight in the UK, it will be for official release. Is that right, Miss Fly?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
It is correct indeed.
So,
yeah.
So like I've just mentioned, the song's out for general release tomorrow.
Yep.
How are you feeling the night before the actual release of the song? How does that feel as an artist?
It's good. You know, I've listened to the song now for about 4 months.
Okay.
So I've seen the iteration of it going from just a small idea to it being this big, this 9-pound baby, right?
Yeah.
So tomorrow it's now showing the baby to the rest of the world. Wow. To see whether or not they think the baby's cute.
Okay. that dreaded moment, right?
Know, yeah, where you hold up, you know, your Lion King moment, and you know everybody's like, oh, okay, and then you're, you know, but you know, working with Sean Ali and Monk Julius and Evan Landis on this project, you know, when you get heavyweights in the room, you have no other choice but to up your game.
Absolutely.
And this song in particular, I think above a lot of other songs, means a lot more to me than before. So I'm hoping that this is a beautiful baby.
Okay.
And yeah.
I mean, I've had the pleasure of listening to it myself as well. I think it's an amazing song. The actual song title is called Heaven.
Yes.
And one of the lines in the song is heaven is on our side. So you mentioned that the song means quite a lot to you. And so I'd like to know what is the background to the song, and what is it about this song that means so much to you?
Well, okay. It's not something that I've talked about publicly, but I will, because I think every artist, you know, we have a place that we pull from. So I was married, and my husband died in 2010. And I spent the last 10 years sort of not getting involved in relationships, because in relationships usually will, you know, quite possibly could end in marriage, and, you know, long relationships, and then, you know, sometimes they're much to your chagrin. But just I wasn't ready for that pain of loss again. And so you know, I had to go through and fix all the things that needed to be healed. And then when I found myself in a situation where I was wanting to move on, the question was whether or not he would be okay with that. And so when I sat down to sing this song, I got the message that heaven's on my side.
Nice.
And on the side of this thing that I was hoping for. And so yeah, that's what it is, really. I mean, the lyrically, the song is about the new situation and all of the feelings surrounding that situation. And the chorus is really like, heaven's on my side. Heaven, I'm okay. I'm good. I got the blessing.
Yeah, because when I hear that song, it's definitely a song of someone healing from a on Facebook Live. For me, when I listen to it, it's a song about recovering from a situation and feeling okay to try and move on to a new phase or a new chapter. You know, just some of the words in that song.
Yeah, I think identity-wise, we, you know, unless we're healed, we still identify with whatever it was we were before, whether we were an ex-husband, an ex-wife, a mother, you know. Sometimes women who have children who they put in the work of mother for their whole life, suddenly their children are now in uni and gone, and they've lost their identity. So it's really about moving on and knowing that, in my case, that no matter where I go, heaven's on my side, and I got the blessing to do what you
need to do.
Live my life, right?
Which is, I think,
and find love, which is important.
Very important to us all. So, you know, from a writing perspective, do you usually write on your experiences, or do you write on things that you've been inspired, like, around you?
I would say it can be a mix of both, because sometimes I can have a conversation with someone during the day, and that night I'm singing about that thing
Mm-hmm.
that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time I don't sit down with any idea of what's going to come out.
Yeah, yeah.
I just sit down and ask my ancestors to give me the words and let me do it, and
it
it's
happened.
done.
It's as easy as that, right?
Sometimes. Yeah, you don't see the pain and the suffering and the, you know, me pulling out my hair because I can't rhyme a word or, you know, but it's definitely one song can be completely different from the next on how I work through it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, for sure.
This song was fairly easy, actually.
Okay. Do you find that your best songs are the ones that come easy to you, or do you find that sometimes a bit of a challenge, or you know, that needed inspiration helps with the process of writing?
I think sometimes if I sit down and I struggle too hard, because I've had some of those, like I've arranged, yes, I'm going to do vocals to it, and then I sit down and everything that comes out sounds contrived. You know, you're now rhyming cat and hat, like that's how contrived it can sound. I'd rather just put it away and say, you know what, rather than disrespect your work, whoever send it to me, let's just put it aside. Because the most easiest tracks are the ones I see that seem to resonate with other people, because they can identify with it. So that's when so, you know, don't fix what's not broken.
No, absolutely.
Just kind of roll with however it works.
Because that kind of brings me on to another thing which has come through to my head about people relating to music and relating to songs. And I'm a big fan of songwriters as well, and I find that you're an amazing songwriter in your songs, but what I like about your style of songwriting is that it's very relatable. The language is very simple but powerful words at the same time. And I find songs like that, songs that even people can sing the words to, are the songs that people can generally feel. Is that an intentional part of your process when you write, or does that just come organically from you?
It comes organically from me when I'm singing, but when I'm talking, I tend to over-explain because I'm not sure whether something is coming through properly. So, but musically, you know, my father has told me before, you know, your words can separate grown men from boys.
Wow.
Because simple, things are simple. Life can be simple. We overcomplicate everything. You know, you know, for instance, if you meet someone at a nightclub and you have a good time, and then the next day you're sitting there deciding, is it too early to call? Is it not too early to call? I mean, just call. It's a very simple thing, right? But we tend to overcomplicate everything. And most of that comes from our own fears and insecurities. So I think putting music out is where I feel the least insecure.
Very much so.
And you know, wherever it sticks, right? So, and it's nice when somebody will come back and say, oh, I heard that song and that line really moved me. And I'm thinking, when I was recording it, that line was good. I knew that line was good.
So that's a double win for you, really, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a bit odd though when I'm watching a live stream and people are typing out the words to the song. I find that kind of weird and kind of interesting and cool at the same time. But but
I think it's similar to what your father said about you know, your words being able to separate men from boys. Lyrics in songs are very powerful. I mean, one of the first songs when I sort of heard of you was a track you did called Decided. And the lyrics in that song, guys, if you've not heard that song Decided, go check it out. It's available on TrackSource and plenty other platforms, I'm sure, as well. But it's the lyrics in the songs that always grip me, and how it was in that particular, I won't go into too much about that song because we're here to talk about heaven, but it is a great song, and there are some lyrics that definitely resonate. I just want to take time out just to thank a few other guys that have joined us on the feed as well, and big shout to all the guys that have shared the stream. I'm trying to remember a few of the comments I've seen. Big shout to Kelly. She says she knows the song word for word. Big shout out to you, Kelly. I want to send a big shout out to my good friend Jen Morris, who sadly lost a son a few years back as well, and I think was relating to when you were talking about loss there. So I just wanted to give those guys and everyone else that's joined us on the stream as well. So going back to Heaven, it's been produced by Deep Soul Syndicate, Monk Julius and Sean R. Lee. You guys have worked before, that's correct, right?
Yes. Yeah, they're my team. They're my guys. So most of the tracks that have come out, I started work with them 2 years ago. And so most of the work that's come out thus far has been with them or an extension of them. So gotta rep the team. But and so Morehouse Records, which is releasing this track, Evan Landis is actually the engineer who's worked on all of my vocals.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so for me, he's my guy because now he's the one that does this thing with my voice that any time anybody else mixes my song, I'm like, oh,
it's not Evan.
I don't like that.
It's not Evan, but Evan's a legend anyway, though, isn't he? Evan's been around for a minute.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So this is actually the first release they're putting out on their label that he hasn't worked on. That it's not a Groove Junkies song. So it's a pretty important thing for him to have got this song to just engineer, to just do the vocals on it, but then to say, you know what, this is a good thing here. This is different, and want to get behind it. So yeah, it's a pretty good thing.
There's some nice comments coming through on the feed from Michelle Leckie. She says, I think your voice is beautiful. There's a few other comments, guys, so I do apologize if I haven't shouted you out or mentioned your comments, but it's hard to just have a chat and try and read everything at the same time as well. But
sorry, before we I just want to thank everybody for joining us and joining me, and this is our first live, and hopefully we'll have many more depending on whether you guys want to see more. We'll see what happens after, but I just wanted to hail everybody up and say thank you for coming on.
Yeah, for sure. So Heaven's out midnight UK time over here, and whatever the date falls over, but you've had quite a good year so far. You had another release earlier in the year called Thank You, reached like #2 in the Track Source chart, so that was a great start to the year.
Last year we did a lot of work. You know, the other thing too is the year you plant is not the year you eat. So, you know, I've put in sometimes I can feel overwhelmed because I've done a whole bunch of work. Like I'll be busy for the rest of the year just in promos because I've done all the work already, and now things are coming out. So every month, you know, you're going to see more promos from me. You're going to see my face for the rest of the year.
Brilliant. But big shout to Deborah. Deborah said that she definitely wants to see more of you. Wayne Porter states that this is just the start for you. But it isn't really just the start for you, though, is it? You've been around for quite some time now.
Yep, 30 years.
You've kind of done this ninja thing where you've been here for ages, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, MissFly, for some people anyway. You know, but you know your history. You've been a singer for many years now, haven't you?
Yeah, I did my first recording at 13. And which was like 7 or 8 years ago, really. No, it was 30 years ago. And went through the reggae scene, went through the R&B scene, went through New Jack Swing, which was probably my least favorite. In terms of vocals, music was great, but in terms of vocals, it was weird. Then I went through jazz and sort of just worked my way into getting to know my own voice, which is a thing in this industry that, and I think it's in any industry, they try and box you into certain boxes about how you should do things. And I think when you can break out of that and do your own thing, You finally will
is
get
that a feeling of
yeah.
freedom? Is that a, you know, you're able to maintain your integrity as an artist as well?
Yeah, definitely. Because now when we're working together, I have to always remember that they already know what my voice sounds like. They already know what I can do and they want to do more of it. Whereas there was a time in my life where if you said, Louis Vega wants to do a track with you, there would be a time where I would try and fix my voice to fit what Louis Vega was doing. So now when somebody is approaching me about wanting to work with me, now I'm saying, well, they already know what I can do.
Yeah.
So, and you know, so it's finding the power in that, right?
Definitely. So to realize that you're not a visitor anymore, you're actually part of the thing now, you know, you're involved.
Yeah.
How does that transition feel though, going from, you know, working with different types of people in different areas, kind of well-respected people? You mentioned Louis Vega, one of many respected people, especially in the house music industry. How does that transition actually feel?
A bit bizarre, because, you know, it's sort of like when you're with yourself all the time, you don't see, I'm with myself all the time. So I don't see the MissFly thing. And especially during COVID, when you're trapped in your house for a year, you don't get to know what it feels like on the outside of, you know, being MissFly. So when somebody calls me to do work and will say, oh, I've heard this and I've heard that, I'm like, really? Okay. I don't always understand my relationship to music. Because really I'm just a girl.
But you know, you've got some amazing fans over here in the UK, and that's why, you know, when we started, you know, to get a bit more closer to you, and you started to sort of hang out with my guys, Afro Soul London, shout out CKP, and of course the one and only Antonio Pascal, which is something I think we kind of need to kind of talk about a little bit. How you've become associated with us over here in the UK. CK, as self-titled, you're the first lady of Afro Soul London. And for those of you listening that aren't aware, MissFly, as part of our collective Afro Soul London, she's done so much things for us, which a lot of guys don't realize, and made some amazing jingles and dub plates, and really helped create our Afro Soul London vibe. So, but how did we actually get round to? Like,
I just wormed my way in.
When we were talking earlier prior to the feed, I was just saying, like, how did all of this kind of happen? It's kind of happened really quite simply of me reaching out to you as a fan and just saying, I love your track, and, you know, would you mind doing a jingle for a show that I was doing with my dear friend Nushi D. I hope she's still locked on at the time. And then it kind of developed from there, really. And you were kind of asking about what I was doing over here in London with my guys. And then the next minute, like, you're doing dub plates for us.
And also feeling, you know, I had a conversation with Ace, and Ace said to me,
Is Ace,
you know,
is Ace still on the line? Ace, are you still there?
We can't tell. I don't know if you can tell. Can you tell?
Carry on. If Ace is in the room, he can let us know when he's ready. If he's there.
Okay. So Ace and I were having a conversation because Ace and there's
nice
Ace.
One, Ace.
He said yes. Yeah. So Ace and I started working together because of yours and Nushi's show, because I heard Shake and Moves and I thought, I need to get on that track, which, big up to Ace, it's coming out next month. So
Ace, you got your minute, you got your promo, mate.
Yeah, there's your plug. And so he made a comment to me about when I come over, where everybody can go out for dinner. And when he started to talk about the names of who we would go out to dinner with, I realized I've made friends that I've never met before. But these are friends that I can talk to. I can talk to, you know, Ace and Deborah, I talk on the phone probably at least twice a week, and we have like FaceTime, you know, hour-and-a-half conversations. Yushi and I have talked. You and I talk. CK and I talk. And Tony and I talk. And these are all people that I never met. Freedom I talked to. So
shout out Freedom and Leon Finesse as well. And
always having this feeling that I have friends that are quickly turning into family. Good friends, right?
That's I mean, the power of music, right?
Yeah, and it also gives me free places to stay. So, you know, I'm all in for that. I'm all in.
Well, we're definitely putting out there that you're going to come to the UK, and definitely putting it out there to do some shows and meet some people as well, because you do have some great fan base over here in the UK. And again, big shout out to all the guys that have logged on to the feed as well. Thank you. I really appreciate that for joining us on this live feed tonight. So you literally, you're kind of here already, aren't you? All you need to do is just come over and meet some people, and the relationships, the foundations for these beautiful relationships have already been built, aren't they? You know.
Yeah, and also too, it's, you know, so being part of Afro Soul London, you and I have had this conversation before. I'm a part of Afro Soul London, but we've never done this. So I've never had the opportunity to speak like this. And so even being in the chat room, and I feel like I know some of the people. And then what tends to happen is some of those people, you know, will DM me and we'll have conversations. And so, you know, I'm learning about other things. And, you know, it's a really nice feeling, especially. I don't know what's happening in the chat, but I see it's like moving really quickly.
Morph Tim.
I'm going to answer all of your questions later.
Morph Tim is like your Monday night dance partner on me and Antonio's show. He's just stated that he's ready for a dance with you as well. Kelly's saying...
How tall are you, Morph? I need to know. Height is important.
You know.
CK's here as well. Hey, CK.
I want to shout out Linda Collier, CK, Lady T. Big shout out to Lady T, locked on as well. Cole H as well, who you've worked with alongside CK as well. So nice to have you on board, Cole. Big shout out to CK as well, my big bro locked in inside.
Oh, Michelle Lucky, he's 5 feet.
He's 5 feet?
No, and then Morph said 6'2". 6'2" I can work with.
Does he meet the dancing standard?
Well,
it reminds me of when you go to the fun fair and you've got to stand next to the penguin to see if you're tall enough to get on the ride. Is this a dance measurement that you
Yeah, well, you know, I'm quite a tall girl, so being on the dance floor with some stilettos and, you know, 5 foot doesn't. 5 foot's scary.
Now make it.
You're not doing it. How are you gonna spin me on the dance floor if you're 5 feet? Your hands won't even touch the top of my head. That's a problem.
Yeah. The maths doesn't really add up, does it? I guess. But actually, to confirm, Morph Tim is 6'2". So Morph, I think you're in the clear on that one, mate. You're good.
Okay, we can dance.
Yeah,
we can dance.
So,
are you taking notes on that?
Who?
Oh, I thought you were taking notes.
I was just checking. I'm checking Morph Tim's credentials to make sure he's matching up. You know what I mean?
Hi, DJ Marcus. Hello, everybody. Ooh. Yeah.
So nice. We got.
Okay.
Oh wow, we got quite a few people on tonight, which is fantastic. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And we haven't even got into the 10 for 10 yet. So for the guys that have joined us and didn't read the flyer properly, because I know it happens. I'm guilty of it myself, guys, so don't worry about it. The 10 for 10 is we've got 10 questions, 5 questions that me and MissFly have arranged and are safe and we're comfortable with asking each other. And then we've got another 5 questions. Mind you, those questions, the first 5 are questions that both of us will be answering, okay? And then the second 5 are just 5 random questions about anything in life, in music, your childhood, anything. So I'm excited, but a little bit like, I wonder what you're going to ask me. So please be kind. I'll ask you that from the get-go, yeah? Later on also, guys,
kind.
on the feed.
I won't be gentle, but I'll be kind.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, well, thanks for the heads up anyway. At least I know what I'm getting into.
I'm just kidding.
You know? But for the guys on the feed as well, later on, we're going to give you guys an opportunity to ask any question to either myself or MissFly if you'd like to. Hi, Lady T. Welcome aboard.
Hi, Nat. Hi, Lady T. She said hi.
Yeah.
My thing's moving.
Guys, if you have said hi and I haven't or MissFly haven't, please do apologise. It is moving quite quickly.
Yeah.
So, shall we get into the first 5 questions then?
Let's go.
Let's do it. So these questions, guys, they're nothing like, you're not going to find out any fact-finding, you know, 8 wonders of the world or anything like that. But it's just more of an introduction, you know, to MissFly for the guys over here in the UK that wanted to know a little bit more about her. So anyway, so we're going to ask real basic questions. So I'm going to ask you, ladies first. Big shout out to Sam Kavanagh and Stevie Milliner. The kids are here. No, it's going to be safe, guys. It'll be, trust me.
Oh, don't worry, Nicola. I'll give you the name of my lipstick. She likes my lipstick.
Nicola's asking about your lipstick.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the lady thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Should we get into it?
Okay.
Okay. So, first question. Which website do you visit the most?
So.
And think careful before you answer this question, by the way.
So I was going to ask you, evening time when I'm under my duvet or just regular all the time?
You tell me. What's the website you visit the most?
The safe answer would be Pinterest.
Pinterest.
I'm gonna go with Pinterest, Bob.
So why Pinterest? What's on Pinterest? I've never really messed with Pinterest too much, actually.
Well, so I in my studio, I redid the wall. I painted a whole graphic thing on my wall. I got that idea off of Pinterest. So Pinterest is sort of like, you can live vicariously through other people who have time to do things.
Okay.
Which I relatively don't. So I have all of these and you can make boards. So I have all these boards that I just add stuff to, but then I have to find time to go back on the board and look at all those things.
Okay.
Yes, Deb, exactly. Once you pin one, you cannot stop. And then you find shoes. I'm a bit of a shoe hooch. So you find shoes, but you can never find them anywhere else in the world. They're just like, I don't even know where these people find the shoes. So I have a whole board full of shoes that I'll never be able to find. But generally at night it's Pornhub. But okay, let's move on.
Okay, I want to shout out Sam Kavanagh. Because she actually said, boo to the safe answer. So Sam, there you go.
Pornhub.
Are you satisfied now? Are you satisfied now? MissFly, one of her favorite sites. Anyway.
It's okay.
There you go. Some people are easily satisfied, aren't they? There you go.
We're grown-ups. We're grown-ups.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Now,
if they could merge and I could like pin stuff to board, I'm just kidding. Let's move on.
Yeah. Pinterest and Pornhub. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, you can save your favorite things
so
on a board.
What exactly are you pinning on this particular site then?
Favorite scenes. Like there's nothing worse than having a favorite scene, but then you can't find it ever again. They know what I'm talking about.
Pair of shoes with your favorite pair of
porn.
Pair of anything. I don't know.
Favorite pair of boobs.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Pair of nuts even.
As
Who
Antonio,
knows?
as the one and only always says, this is an honest program.
Shout out to Antonio Pascal. I hope Antonio gets a chance to join us at some point. Absolutely love that guy. Hold tight, CKP as well, of course. The mayor locked in on the stream. Sam, I hope you're good, yeah? I hope you really enjoyed that answer. But it is after the watershed, so we can go as adult-like as we like, really, right?
Well, I mean, you know, how many you only live once.
And you don't get the chance to tell people on Facebook that Pornhub's one of your favorite websites. So I've got the exclusive,
No.
guys. There you go.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. And I'm sorry for my mum, actually, because I think my mum is actually watching. So, yeah.
Pornhub. What is Pornhub?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Even know.
Never mind, Mum.
Bad answer.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So should we go to the next question?
Oh no! What is your favorite?
Oh, I'm not really a Pornhub guy, actually.
No.
No, I'm more of a RedTube. No, I'm joking. To be honest with you.
Oh, RedTube's good too.
Yeah. Yeah. While we're on the topic, you know, because clearly this is what people want to hear about. It's interesting, isn't it? What people want to hear. I think for me, it's got to be TrackSource, obviously. Actually, no. There's a website called Shoeaholic. Like,
Yes.
they do like crazy prices for shoes on there. So I've been guilty of like Shoeaholic, and TrackSource makes sense to me. But yeah, TrackSource is a bit of an addiction. I had to take the stop looking at it on my phone, because I was always just constantly looking for music and buying music, you know, all the time. So yeah, TrackSource and Red Porn for the guys that needed for that little bit to be satisfied. Okay, guys? Cool.
And you called it Red Porn. Is that another website or RedTube?
RedTube.
Shout out to RedTube and Pornhub.
Yeah. You guys owe us money now, by the way. So yeah.
Sponsorship.
Michelle Leckie, no, it's not. I don't like PH. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just, you know, yeah. You know, it is what it is, right? We've got choices in life. Okay, so next question.
Okay.
What movie best describes your life?
The Truman Show.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I find, you know, you sort of, I'll have days where I'll have these days where I just don't believe that it's my life. And then I'm like, am I on camera somewhere where I just don't know? Some things can come out of nowhere, like the things that I least expect, right? So yeah, I would say Truman Show is probably the most accurate. And The Clockwork Orange. Oh,
great film. That's quite an iconic movie, really. Why Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
What is it about Clockwork Orange?
Well, because I think sometimes that the way I think about things is quite different than general mainstream thoughts. And so, you know, we're all a little bit touched in the temple, I like to say.
I think so.
Yeah, and I find those people are the most interesting people for me to talk to and to be around, people who see things differently. So, you know, and at one time we would have been locked up for the way that we see things. So
for sure.
Yeah, so Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, great movie.
And you?
For me, I had to think long and hard about this one, because I got a couple.
Yeah.
So on certain days, Scarface is my favorite movie, because, you know, the scene in the staircase where he says to everyone, say hello to my little friends, and he's just blasting people. Sometimes when I'm having a bit of a bad day, I feel like Tony Montana and just blasting everything that's just getting on my nerves that day. But that's just very rarely.
Right.
Seriously, to answer the question, it's a very old film, and I think it goes back to either the late 90s or maybe early 2000s, if I'm correctly, but a Kevin Costner film called Field of Dreams.
Brilliant movie.
So I don't know if anyone out there remembers that movie, but what it is about that film for me, what resonates with me, is the part in the film where he gets this voice about saying, call them and they will come. And for anyone that hasn't seen the film, it's about Kevin Costner moves to this new house with his family, and it's on the grounds of like an old baseball field. But the ghosts of these baseball legends, their spirits are still around in the area, and he gets a voice of saying, call them and they will come. So eventually he does some absurd thing and he creates this baseball idea. So for me, what I get from the movie is the whole thing of like, you know, you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. You won't find out if that girl is gonna want to go out on a date with you if you don't call her. You won't get that job if you don't go and apply for it. So for me, it's that thing of having a vision, having an idea, and just work towards it. Because in my experience, whenever I've walked in a particular direction, that is when I've been the most successful. Not even having all the tools that I need to achieve what I want to achieve, but just start that journey, and comes in, you know, things fall into your path, people that you meet that you wouldn't even, you know, dream of meeting happen. So in short, that's why that movie kind of resonates with me. Thank you, David Peter said it's a brilliant movie.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
So, you know, my theory, I've talked to you about this before, about my theory of how the universe responds to people. And that the universe doesn't respond to your ego, it responds to your soul. And the soul is something that most people keep extremely private. Ego is the thing that's on display all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So when you are, and for me, this is how it works for me. It doesn't, you know, I had a discussion with CK last night about this very thing. Hi, Angie Bryant.
Hey, Angie.
And something about, you know, for other people, it happens different ways. For some people, it's when they are in meditation. For some, it happens, you know, when you're in the shower. For me, it's before I go to bed at night. I always have this moment where I get really quiet with myself and I think about what I actually want, what I would really love to have. And then I don't even say it.
Yeah.
I just think it.
Yeah.
And the universe knows, because we are part of the universe. So the universe knows if that is something you want or is it something you need.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And so when you get that thing in your life or that person in your life that answers all of those things that you said in your quiet moment, that's when you know that it's the universe is in alignment with what you're doing and is sending you people and things to make that journey possible. It's when, you know, you're constantly, when you don't take a moment to self-check.
That's
right?
so
And
important, isn't it?
Yeah, people talk a lot of stuff all the time, and most of that is a fear of being quiet.
Yeah,
right?
There's some really great comments, and I'd love to mention them all, but the ones that I can find, Sam saying the universe only says yes. CK
Absolutely.
mentioned alignment. Hi Angie, hi Sarah, thanks for joining us. Hi Irene as well. Lady T said it's in your soul. So some great, Angie Bryant saying our energy is around us as well as within us. Absolutely, absolutely true.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, should we move on to the next question? Because that is a topic where I could talk all night about, really and truly. We could have a whole debate about it. Maybe we should have another Facebook Live about particular topics. I
think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm just people are sending me emails asking for the link for this.
Okay, do that.
But I don't know how did everybody join your page on the live, or are they joining my page on the live?
They joined my stream.
Am I live now?
You're live on my stream, I think.
Right. But does it show that I'm live though?
That I'm not sure. Does anyone online would know this?
Let's go through the comments.
So some people would like us to come back and talk about some different topics.
I'm game.
Okay, CK says yes, you are live.
See my FB.
Good evening to Solara Landers joining us.
There you go.
On the stream.
Right there.
Yeah. Thank you, Irene. We're both live. We're good now, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. More comments. More comments. Lady T, be honest and true to yourself. You know what? Just before we move on to the next question, that is such a true point, isn't it? You've got to be true to yourself and be honest to yourself. And to add to that, I think, you know, people talk about self-love, and if you don't have these things, how is anyone else gonna, you know?
So I have to debate this comment
Debate
a
it,
little
please.
bit.
Debate it.
I hear people say this all the time. You know, how can someone love you if you don't love yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I think it sends a message that if you are fixing pieces of yourself or you are not completely well, that you can't find love.
Okay.
And I think that's a statement that we need to come back from,
Mm-hmm.
because as long everybody deserves love,
Mm-hmm.
no matter where you are in your
Mm-hmm.
path
Mm-hmm.
or your healing or whatever the case may be. So I encourage people, even if they are in the process of healing, look for love, find love. You can only, you know, healing is part of love and love is part of healing. But don't even tell yourself that I'm because most of us have little insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
So if I focused on my insecurity and I said, well, this person won't love me because if I show him this insecurity,
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to
Sorry to cut you. We're just getting some comments about Nicola was saying if you share the feed, then it will appear on your page or something. Is that all right? Is that right, Nicola?
If I share it, okay, hold on. If that's the case, but it doesn't even, oh, it shows on your page. I gotcha. Mm-hmm. Technology. Trust me, we'll figure this out with the next feed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
There we go. Share. What do I say? I'm here. Where are you?
Morph Tim is saying you have to love yourself. Yeah. So we're covering a lot of things tonight, which I think
you do. Mm-hmm.
Which I think some of these things we definitely can come back and cover again and have a debate and a talk about it, because it's quite interesting stuff, really, as well. And there seems to be quite an interest.
But just don't stop yourself looking for love, because you're not all the way in love with yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
Yeah, and you know what? There are areas about myself that I may not love, but the person that I love may love them, and therefore I will get healing through that love. So, and vice versa, right?
Do you think sometimes when people say you've got to love yourself first, there is an element of feeling good about yourself? Is that what that statement really means, or is it a literal statement of if you don't love yourself, like what you're saying, you can still look for love, even if you're not totally in love with yourself. You don't have to wait for this completion, because nobody is ever perfect at any point, are they, really?
No, and I can be perfect. I can be a 5-star filet mignon to one person and be a piece of dog meat to another.
Absolutely.
It's perfection. Perfection is something that is only attainable. My level of perfection is not even attainable for myself, you know, but I'm not going to spend my whole life alone trying to perfect myself. To my own standard. It's like, you know, women who can be the fittest woman in the room and can go in the bathroom and have issues with her eyebrows. I mean, it seems pretty silly, but those, you know, some of those things, you know, you're never going to be
real
perfect.
Life. These are real life things that we all go through, don't we, really, at some point? And no one really knows 100% of how you're feeling or what you're going through based on your exterior sometimes, you know?
Yeah. So look for love, get love, enjoy life, because one day you're here and the next day you are not.
That's it.
And we all know people that have lost people, especially this year, have lost people. And I don't want to be on my deathbed holding the hands of the doctor because I decided that I was going to work on myself for the rest of my life.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Yeah.
I don't love myself fully.
We might run out of time before we actually get to that point in reality, really.
Exactly. You know? So, you know, just don't worry. Stop overthinking. Just do your thing and go out there. There's someone for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some great comments coming through, guys, as well. CK saying ASO on a next flex. Yeah, we play music, we get down, but we talk, we debate, you know. all part of the Afro Soul London flavour, you know, as we do.
That's right.
And
So,
you know
Laura,
what? I'm really grateful, guys. There's nearly 40 odd people that have joined us, and we're nearly an hour. And we haven't even got through all of our questions yet. So I'm grateful for you guys that are just staying with us right now, so far. But I think we're going to move on to the next question now.
Yes.
Which is kind of similar. I think we've kind of touched on a little bit of it already just by answering the last question. Is Ace, yes, there's more questions, mate. This is a program, you know. If you got somewhere to go, Ace. I'm only joking. Big shout to Ace, Shalon and Deborah, of course. So the question is, how different is your life from 1 year ago?
Okay, for me, well, you are in my life. ASL is in my life. All of these lovely people are in my life. I didn't see any of this a year ago. So, you know, I know that laugh. The COVID thing got very scary for a lot of us, especially if you are living on your own. The isolation was real. And for me, I'm very fortunate. Part of my personality is that I want to sing. And I knew that in COVID, everybody lost money. We all sort of struggled. And so I reached out to a couple of producers and I said, look, let's just work. We'll deal with all the business stuff after. Let's just keep putting out, let's just keep doing music. And then, you know, we're also learning about ring lights and, you know, OBS and streaming, live streaming and all of these things. So, you know, we could sit and we can complain about the isolation and all the things that, you know, we've lost, or we could think about all of these incredible people that we now have in our life who we know that if, you know, if the world was open, we probably wouldn't have met them.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm you know, I'm thankful. I couldn't be more thankful. Even if I had to deal with the downsides of all of these things, I'm extremely thankful for all the wonderful things. Yeah,
sure.
Because the world will heal. The world will heal. So, and if you didn't come out of this different than you went in, I feel bad for you.
I know, it's a sad time. I want to send a big shout to Charlie DaCosta saying it's been testing times. And it certainly has for that. So it's been there's been some positives for you then within this last crazy year that the whole world's been experiencing.
Yeah. And you, what's your deal?
Boy,
what's changed for you, Mr. Brown?
In the last year, a lot's changed, I guess. Similar to everyone else, really, struggling with the change of, you know, restrictions, lockdown, and of course, you know, being involved in music, the lack of, you know, us DJs, hosts, artists performing anywhere. And, you know, it kind of made me, it really slowed things down for me. That's what it did. It slowed everything down for me. And I think the world needed to slow down a little bit, and just take stock and appreciate. I learned a lot of new things. I lost a few people as well during this year, you know, like many people across the world. It was like it was, you know, in certain parts of it, it was like a dream. I admittedly, at the beginning of the whole COVID situation, I just thought like, okay, this is some serious shit going on, but not really realizing how badly everything was going to be affected. But similar to what you said, though, it was a great opportunity to meet people. The social media thing was the godsend, I think, for a lot of people, because people were still able to keep in touch. People were able to meet with people, connect with people. I've heard stories of lockdown lovers. I've heard some amazing stories that have come out of you know, the lockdown. And, you know, as we all know, the live streaming thing went through the roof. So
can you imagine if we had dial-up still?
But you know what, right? Having said that, if we had dial-up, you know what we would have done? We would have dialed it up same way. And we would have just sat there and listened to that irritating noise that we used to get, you know, So yeah, we would have done that, but we've been spoiled with the technology, which has been a blessing.
Absolutely.
And it's also, you know, the whole internet. I often refer to it as like the beauty and the beast.
The necessary evil.
Yeah, because at the same time, there's such a negative side to it all, but there's so much beautiful things that have happened, and so much information and knowledge. And, you know, I'm not even going to get into the whole Black Lives Matter thing that we know was a major part of last year. But as an example of things being on spotlight, you know, that was a massive, drastic change as well. And also, you know, for me, I joined Afro Soul London as well, within the last year, working with CKP and Antonio Pascal, absolute legends in my opinion. And the funny thing was, right, and it's a bit like similar to when I was referring to the film Field of Dreams. CK and Antonio are guys that I've known for years, for absolute, you know, for many years as a raver, as a music lover. But it's just so funny how things happen in a certain way, and your path just cross paths with other people, you know. And it's almost like a snowball effect, because prior to that, and I'll tell you what's really interesting though, is being involved in music for like nearly 20 odd years, and being treated like the new boy. That's quite interesting. Almost having to kind of reintroduce yourself to people because you're working in a different genre or a different area of the music field. But yeah, I'd been involved in radio for about 18 years prior to joining Afro Soul London. So I have quite a background in it as well. But that was a blessing that even at your age, you can still be classed as the new kids. And people are like,
I love when people say, "Oh, for such a young lady, you have such class." I'm like, I earned these young lady stripes. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So that's been an interesting thing, kind of being reintroduced to a new set of people that totally are unaware that you've, you know, got a history in the music field and on radio and other stuff like that. But it's nice because it's almost like resetting the clock again, really. And, you know, there's nothing like having a clear out and starting again, if you like, you know. Big shout out to Sam Kavanagh. Sam's she's one of my home girls from my area in Hackney in London. She's always got some banter for me, and she's mentioned Old Dog and New Tricks. Thanks, Sam. Sam, thanks for your contribution, mate. Lady T, we miss our people. We need to embrace. Yeah, very true, very true.
You know, the funny thing is, I went and got a massage, and the minute the girl put her hands on my back, the wave that went through my body, because I haven't had a touch in a year. And that was bizarre. So I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna look like. It's gonna look like a bunch of people like trying to figure out how to hug, touch. It's gonna be interesting.
Because we're gonna have
there's gonna be YouTube videos how to hug when you meet in person.
I'd probably get like 10 million views for everyone retraining themselves how to embrace somebody, how to embrace a friend you've not seen for a year.
Exactly. And it's going to be a guy standing in front of a full-length mirror just going, no. So and then, you know, when he has the correct way, when it's
place the hand above the bum in the small of the back.
Exactly.
Not on the bum, from the small of the back. You know,
I think ASL, I think we should do the instruction videos.
We should do our own how to hug someone after a year.
Yes, yes. How to greet someone that you haven't seen for a year after COVID. Yeah.
Linda Collier says, just go straight in and grab them in the biscuit.
That's my mantra, but not everybody's comfortable with that one.
Very true, very true. So we better move on with these questions. So what's the best present?
I want to ask this one. I want to ask this one.
Go on then.
What is the best present you ever received?
Ooh. I'm going to sound really cheesy, but I don't care.
I expect nothing less.
Because it's the truth and it's me. And the best present I've ever received are my 2 sons. And my greater present than that is my grandson, for sure. And I know that sounds cheesy, guys, but, you know, for me as a man, and I don't know, I'm going to take it a little bit deeper. As a black man, fatherhood is important to me, you know, and we kind of get stereotyped a lot as black men sometimes, you know, and this ain't, you know, get the violin out scenario or anything like that. But I'm just being straight with you. And if you ask me the question, I'm going to give you my honest answer, you know. So the reason why that is because I'm a proud father of 2 men, young men that I'm very proud of, and a beautiful young prince that's growing up, just beautiful. And if there's nothing else that I achieve in my life, I know that I've done good by my boys so far. They're grown up, they're doing well for themselves, they're doing their thing. One of my sons is an artist as well. You might have seen me post his things up, and he's finding his way in his music career. And my other son, he's going to be doing a football scholarship in America. So as a dad, like, yo, you know, and yeah, I'm super proud. So those are my gifts. Everything beyond that is a bonus, you know, and I'm grateful for everything else as well that's come my way, you know. So what's your favorite present or best present you've received?
Well, nothing like that, but it's still a good one. When I was a kid, there used to be a department store, which would be like Walgreens or Kroger's. Well, that's state stuff. I don't know what you guys have there, but and they had a Mickey Mouse cookbook. And I used to go into the store and I used to thumb through that cookbook, and I wanted it badly. Yeah. And I grew up in a house that wasn't always the nicest house. It was good. I was raised well, but it wasn't always a great house to live in. Okay. And my stepfather decided to write me, it was Christmas time, he decided to write a note from Santa to me. So I didn't recognize the handwriting, where I would have recognized it if it was my mother's. And so I got the cookbook and I got this note from Santa. And I obviously at the time, I think I was maybe 8. So at the time I didn't know that it wasn't Santa, but Santa was real. Yeah. And so fast forward many years later when I, maybe, a couple of years later, fast forward many years when I realized Santa was real. I realized that the letter, he had written it for me. And so I have this thing in my head about people who are not always kind. There's a thing called dialectics where 2 things can be true and they can be opposing. So someone may not always be a kind person, but they do have kindness in them. Absolutely. And so in that moment, I saw him more as a whole individual, as just not a nice guy all the time. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's a so I saw him as someone who took time. Yeah, and he wrote, and it was corny when I think back. This is Santa, and you've been a good girl. But the fact that he had those thoughts about me, even for that short moment, that was probably one of the best presents. And that feeling must have been quite amazing as well, even as a little girl. Yeah, I mean, Santa Christmas was a big thing in our house. My mom used to put together these giant stockings. They were giant to me then. They're like my head now, but they were pretty big when I was a kid. And she used to lay them on my brother in my bed in the morning to gain, of course, them extra hours. But for us, it was the best part of Christmas because we'd wake up with this massive stocking. Nice. So I have fond memories. This is one of the things about kids that I waited a long time to have kids, and not having them. These are the things I think about. Wishing for, to be able to do those things for kids, because I love that. So I have to, I find the neighborhood kids and do stuff like that for Christmas.
That's very
Yeah.
kind of you, Miss Fly. Very kind of
I
you.
know.
You know.
I know.
So are you the lady that when the kids come round at Halloween trick or treating, have you got a bowl of sweets always ready for them, or you want to run them from the front door?
No. So there's a part of me that most people would be surprised to know. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
You're that lady. Are you the lady that's peering out the window? And who's that on the lawn?
You already know. I'm that lady that. Wait a second. Is that the garbage man? Oh, look at that. Yeah. So everybody in my neighborhood knows that. So we have things called porch pirates. I'm sure you have them there as well. You order something on Amazon and somebody comes along and steals it off your porch or from your door frame and those kind of things.
Sorry to cut you, Miss Fly. CK said you've got 3 kids here ready for you at ASL.
I already knew that. Don't worry. I got stockings for all of you. Yeah, so I'm the person that the neighbors say, you know, they know their stuff's not going to go missing because I'm always at my window going, you know.
That's something that nobody knew about you.
No, I can be quite crotchety. I just like my things. Don't disrespect my things. And if you're going to stand on my lawn, at least offer to cut it at some point.
Fair play.
That's all I'm asking.
Make yourself useful.
No, I do the sweets at Halloween. And I talk to every kid.
Wicked.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, it's weird.
You got to be careful with that nowadays, though.
Listen, I had an experience where I went to North Carolina, and North Carolina is quite lovely, but they do their racial tension is very right there.
Okay.
There's no mincing words. And I talked to everybody. And so this kid was approaching me on the trail with his parents behind him. And I said, hi, how are you? And I my mom's a teacher, so I'll get down and, you know, look at them
on the same level.
Eyes. Yeah. Hi, how are you? Are you enjoying your day today? And the woman said, don't talk to my son, you.
What, N-word?
And I thought to myself.
What, N-word?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought to myself, wait a second. Wait, can you do that again?
Yeah.
Because I need to, I wish I would, yeah,
How do you process that, it's a very, you know?
I don't know if you can, because you don't quite understand how you just don't understand it. But it's happened to me quite frequently, mostly in the southern states, where I'll, you know, someone will say, you're not going to that store alone. And I'll go, but I go everywhere alone. Yeah. And they say, no, you're not going there alone. It's just those kind of things are a little weird for me.
And that happened in North Carolina, not in Canada, right?
Yeah. No, but in Canada, the thing is that I prefer my race issues on a plate served to me. Yeah. So I know exactly what I'm getting. Don't bake me a cake and it's actually mashed potatoes. Like, don't do that. Yeah. Just if you're a racist, be the racist. You know, don't sort of go, you know, you're not like other Black people. Yeah. That to me is like, that's
Irene, Irene's made a really good comment actually and said, and there is the beginning of learned racism. And yes, that's a very great point, Irene, that you make, because it is something I feel, I mean, we're not going to get too deep into it, but it is something that is taught, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. And you know, I watched a movie last night, Fried Green Tomatoes. I don't know if people have seen that. That's a girly movie, so you may haven't seen it. But there's a scene where the whites are being served in the restaurant in front, and the Blacks are in the back, and the barbecuer is a Black man, and the people in the kitchen are Black, and these white folks in the front are eating the food and hate the people preparing it. And I often thought to myself, if they wanted you dead or they wanted to harm you, which is what you've been grown up to believe, then why are you eating from them? Yeah. It
doesn't make sense, does it?
No. Yeah. So I find that most of the reasons why they have these issues are things that they've just been passed on generationally. They don't, there's no common sense attached, or would sound sort of stupid. Yeah. You know, you sort of have to come to the table willing to get your feelings hurt to change.
Yeah, it's a bit of a price to pay sometimes, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and that goes for anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not willing to change anything,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get your feelings hurt sometimes
Yeah.
to fix things.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
Again, guys, thanks
All
for
right.
the great comments as well. It just keeps moving up.
And trust me when I say this. I know that this goes after the live. We can go back in and we can look at the comments. And I promise you guys that I will answer questions and, you know, and acknowledge everything. But I just, again, I want to say thank you to all the people that come in and said hi, because that's lovely.
Yeah, we've got Crystal
It's
Lavelle
really
has joined us tonight, a great
Yes.
artist as well. And we've got Linda Collier as well. Linda's been hanging out with us for a little bit. So thank you guys. Any other artists, any other people that I haven't mentioned? I'm not highlighting or leaving anyone out. I just can't see everyone's names. Okay.
And Crystal, that song, Taken by Your Love. Whew,
Okay.
it's a good one.
You know.
It's a good one. Okay. You ready, sir, for the off-the-cuff questions?
Yeah. Hold on, I've got one more question for you. In the normal five ones, actually.
Okay. All right.
This one's slightly like just a bit random, but I just thought it'd be interesting to ask you, and then we'll go into the other random questions that we've got. In fact, we'll add this to the random questions. Sorry, there's no rules here. We do what we want.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's your turn to ask a question.
Yeah. So I want to know, MissFly, and I'm going to be totally honest. Seeing as we've mentioned Pornhub and all sorts of other things, clearly this is an adult program now.
Hi, Evan.
So just for
Evan's
fun,
here. Well,
yeah.
Solly.
Chat to Evan,
Evan is
and Solar. Good evening, Evan. Nice to see you, or you see me. Hi, anyway. What is the most random DM message you've received? Because I know for a fact you must be getting some proper DM messages up in your DMs, as they say.
Yeah.
And this is just for fun, guys. This is nothing too serious, just fun.
So, this is the way I am as a woman. Just approach me and say hi. You don't need to go into I'm the queen of the empresses of the islands of the Nile, of the Nile tribe, all this other stuff, right? So I get sort of, they come into my DMs and they'll say all of those words. And then they'll ask me if a queen like myself wears neroli oil.
Oh, wow.
Which, yeah,
neroli oil,
there.
they're really punching now, isn't it? They're really going for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And it's interesting because I, you know, if you're trying to meet me at my level, just be cool, you know, and at least know how to spell neroli, because that's you have to be able to spell. You know, so I have this thing. If I get a message from someone and the words are spelled wrong, I don't know if I'm the only one that does this, but I pull up the keyboard and I look at where the letters are that they misspelled, because it's just like fat fingers. I can deal with that. But if you're spelling neroli with an I or an A or wherever, then I'm like, can you shake your hair for me? Shush, Ace. Look, it's all beautiful. Teasing me.
Yeah.
Ace, I have an inside joke, that's why.
Okay. Ace was talking to us from the toilet earlier anyway, so we need to worry about Ace. Yeah.
Okay, we are family. I mean, I think he's solidifying that.
I think so.
And then I think more, I do get friend requests, and I immediately know the minute I accept it, I'm going to get a DM. It's like I can see it. So I'll say yes, and then within milliseconds, it's Queen. Okay, here we go. You know, somebody wanted to know if I was their best friend, or told me I was their best friend, considering I just added them as a friend. And then I've had some people who contact me from far and tell me that there's a cosmic energy between themselves and myself, and they needed to reach out to want to work with me. And I feel like we should be married. Those kind of queens.
That's some Twilight Zone business going on there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm.
And then, you block them, and then, or they'll send you a message saying, from another account saying, why did you block me?
Oh.
And then you're kind of nervous.
Yeah.
So, and then, the random penis pictures, which is always, I'm always loving those.
People still do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my response is always, when they ask if I like it, I always say, well, that spot on it, I think maybe the doctor needs to take a look at that.
Ooh.
And then usually I get a block. So I'm pretty good.
So that works.
I'm good at
that. Actually, talking of good ways of sort of getting rid of people, I was on the phone to CK earlier today. We were just talking about some stuff. And he got two phone calls from a car phone warehouse. And his response to me was brilliant. So the phone rings and he answers, oh, I can help you. And they'll come with something about they're trying to sell him a phone or something. He goes, I'm a car phone retailer. I have a whole warehouse full of phones. Thank you very much. Goodbye. So he did it the first time and I was laughing. And then about half an hour later, another phone call rang him and he said the same thing again. He's like, I am a car phone, warehouse retailer. I don't need anything. The guy was like, oh, okay then. Thank you. Bye. So those are good ways of actually getting that. So guys, if you are on this stream and you have sent MissFly a dick pic, you know where you got that answer, yeah? Fun and jokes aside.
No dick from this crowd, thank the Lord.
Yeah,
And but you know what? To be fair to the men, I've gotten quite a few women things.
Ooh.
And I'm thinking to myself, do I push that air of I'm into that? Because I'll get some things where I'm like, no, this is not.
Yeah.
Nope, not up my alley. Or what team do you play for? And I always answer the winning one. I need to change that answer. I need to say the man team. I play for them.
Ordinarily, that answer would be the right answer, but I don't know. Depending on the audience that you're speaking to.
Well, I used to run an event planning company, and my partner and I, a female, we were doing a party for a couple, a gay couple.
Yeah.
So the majority of the people that were there were their friends, and not tooting my own horn, but I can be quite magnetic, And I'm in the kitchen and I'm doing my thing and I'm entertaining and I'm talking to people. And people will come to me and say, oh, there's not enough this. Can I get some more? And I say, go talk to my partner in the kitchen. Right? Mm-hmm. So towards the end of the night, I go up to their library and I'm sitting in the library to relax. And a girl came and sat right, like if my lap was any bigger, she would have been in it. Okay. And she was sitting right beside me and she put her hand on my leg. Mm-hmm. And I thought, whoa, what's happening here? And she said, would your partner mind if I talk to you for a bit? Mm. And I went, that's my business partner, and I'm not gay. Mm-hmm. And so I realized that the word partner can be, used in different scenarios. Right? Yeah. So,
it's interesting.
Yeah, What's yours though? Oh, you've got to have some interesting things.
I've had, you know what? Kind of put me on the spot.
Come on.
I've had a couple of weird things. I had one like a couple of weeks ago, actually, up to a couple of weeks ago. So I got a friend request from this lady, and I always scan. I always do my check-in before I add anyone because I've had some kind of strange experiences on social media already. But anyway, this lady, she seemed to check out. She's got a lot of mutual friends. So usually I check people's mutual friends and see like, okay, are you in here for music, or are you here just to add me to your number of friends or whatever. But anyway, so I accepted this lady, and I always, when someone sends me a friend request, I always say thanks for the request. And it's my way of also finding out, are you actually following or engaging, or are you just adding me for the sake of it? Because I don't get that. If you're not going to follow show or my guys that I'm working with, then why would you want to follow me? So if they don't really respond, I usually just delete them after that because I don't need numbers. I'm not here for numbers, However, this lady, I thanked her for adding me. She said, oh, my pleasure. And then she asked me what I was doing. So I said, oh, I'm just doing some work at the moment. I said to her, she said to me, what, I said to her, so what are you doing? And she goes, she's doing some cleaning and some tidying. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I was like, okay, fair enough. And then she said, when do you finish work? So I said, I got work. I don't know. I've got a lot of stuff to do. And then, so then I kind of said something back like, oh, enjoy your cleaning anyway. And then she comes back to me and she goes, when you finish work, come round in your boxer shorts and help me dust down the place. So I was like,
Lord.
I was like, whoa, okay. Like, I've never had a conversation with you before. Yeah, I find that a little bit strange. There's a couple other stuff which, like, I'm not even going to go into. But the offer of going around a lady's house in my boxer shorts to help her dust down the place, I thought, my name's Solly, not Mr. Sheen.
Feeling?
Hmm?
Feeling didn't appeal to you?
Not really, no. Not really.
But the housework or the boxer shorts? One of the two.
Just
the idea.
Just random, like, come round mine.
I don't
and come in your boxer shorts only. So I was like, nah, I don't think that's going to happen, you know. I don't think I even responded, really. I kind of just left it at that. I felt like saying, no, I've got a show of Antonio tonight. I'm sorry, I'm busy. But it's just too much information. But yeah, there's been a couple other ones, but I'm not really going to go like deeply into it. But I mean, the point I'm making is just that how people become so brave with social media, because you know for a fact that some of these people, cheers more to him, Solly Sheen, you know, like Mr. Sheen's our cleaning product over here in the UK. People won't just come up to you and go, you know what I want you to do? I want you to come to my house in your boxer shorts and come dust down my yard for me. People wouldn't do that in normal face-to-face. Not the people that I know, anyway. Maybe they do. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe there are people out there.
You and I have never met, so.
Sorry?
I said you and I have never met. I can be brave like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
but
in my experience,
I mean, you got to know your audience as well.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure like a lot of the guys online with us now have had the whole inbox weird situation. I think it's kind of just part of modern living now, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think well, sometimes as well. I mean, I'll get some friend requests and then I'll accept it, and then they'll come at me and I'm thinking, why? There's no chance. I have somebody, this is not a fond memory, but he had a scar across his face and he tattooed a gun over it. Okay. And was trying to date me.
Oh, is that not your thing?
No, oh. That's a hard one to explain to my family.
Yeah, your new guy. He's a nice guy, but why has he got a gun tattooed across his face?
And he's got the gun, and then he's got letters, and then he's got something else. And I was like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. You look like you can provide me with the life that I would like.
The what, sorry?
Provide me with the kind of life that I would like.
Well, yeah. I ain't going to be dusting no one's dining table with my boxer shorts anytime soon. So no. Don't look for me on that. No. Don't hold your breath for me to see me doing that anytime soon now anyway.
Never.
So we've got like the last 5 random ones really. So we can quickly fire through these.
Well, I only have 3.
Did you?
Because one of my questions can't ask it.
Why?
Because you have standards. Just ask the questions. Go ahead.
Because my mum's watching.
Oh yes, exactly. Okay, we'll change that.
Infinite goes. A man shall look. Ian, who are you referring to?
Ooh, a man. Ian said that.
Okay, cool. All right.
Oh,
so we've got some.
Maybe the woman's looking for you to clean. She's needing a man.
Maybe.
The woman who asked you.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, I think she's looking more than a man. She's looking a freaking butler in the nude, maybe. Yeah. But stroke DJ, stroke host, stroke. She wants a lot. This lady. I think she's getting more than her money's worth. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's do some further random questions. From me, I would like to ask you, which song did you wish that you wrote? Of all the amazing songs in the world that have been written and that you love, which one do you feel you wish that you actually wrote?
I think there's two as I'm sitting here. One of them is I Put a Spell on You, originally written by Nina Simone.
It's a powerful song.
Alice Smith does the cover of it. That's haunting and breathtaking. And the other song would be If I Was Your Woman. By Gladys Knight and the Pips.
That's a beautiful song as well.
Yeah, simple. You know, part of music for me is, which I think is lacking. Music now is talking about romancing you to get to bed. That's ultimately, but it's never said in a nice way. It's sort of like, get in my bed, right? When you listen to Marvin Gaye, when you listen to Otis Redding,
those guys,
Dinah Washington. When you listen to that era of music and those eras, you know, a man would say to his woman, I can't breathe without you. Like, come on, girls, if you're with me, if your man said, I cannot breathe without you, ooh, I'd be in bed already. There would be no, you know, because ultimately that's what we want. We want to feel like, you know, that our thing means something to the person we're with.
Sure.
So yeah, so most of the music that I would have loved to make are like really simple songs from back then that were love. Yeah. You know.
And they're both really two powerful songs, timeless songs as well.
Yes.
I mean, I have this thing about music, certain records being timeless. That we will play these songs in 20, 30, 40 years time. We'll pass these songs on down to our generation of children and their children, you know. So there's certain eras and periods of music for me which are totally, you will never, I don't know if we'll create great music, but create that same feeling, I'm not sure. Or very few and far between, I think. I think it's getting, for me, it's getting less, it's getting fewer and far between, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're just getting old and we know what we know and that's what we love and that's what we see as, because the new generation, their legends and their, you know, is going to be a totally kind of different era and different, you know, selection of artists.
Yeah. Well, there is hope.
Always.
There is hope that we get back to the simple thing as opposed to things super, you know. Yeah. Okay. Who would you love to interview?
Oh, this is easy. I would love.
And what would you do?
Okay, so my number one person that I've always wanted to interview, and I will never be able to do that now because unfortunately this legend has left us many moons ago, but it would be Bob Marley.
Okay.
100%, one of my icons, one of my favorite songwriters of all time. And I say that with hand on chest that he's one of my favorite songwriters of all time.
Yeah.
And it also ties in with my Jamaican heritage from my parents as well. And, you know, yeah, totally. And obviously we all know about the legacy that Bob Marley left behind. And, you know, he came from like a small town. Jamaica's a small island, you know, and he came with a movement and he took this movement to the world and he took music with a message and he crossed races, he crossed religions, he crossed all sorts of boundaries. And he's one of the greatest sort of artists for me that ever walked the earth because of what he done and the legacy that he's left behind, man. So yeah, without a doubt, Bob Marley was the person. And I know we would have some moments too. And we would eat.
Good answer.
Yeah, we'd have to get down on the beach and
easy vibes.
And I know he'd get the best things as well, so you can't get better than that.
For sure.
If man's getting things from Bob Marley, it's got to be Born on King Solomon's Grave, that kind of level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Boy, okay. King Solomon. Wow, that's good.
That's levels.
That's a good one.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's a good answer. Okay, go ahead.
So I've got a question here. Now it's one question, but you have a choice. So you can either choose A or B, and I will tell you what the question is. Okay, so you select the letters A or B, and I will tell you what the scenario is.
But I'm going to ask a question. I am going to ask the room.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to ask the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, A or B, people. And we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So be quick with it. It's one letter, A or B.
So yeah.
And
anyone in the chat, what letter should MissFly pick for my next question? Letter A or letter B? Okay. Big shout out to Irene. Irene says B. Solara says A. The next one is the answer. Next one's the answer.
A.
Danielle.
Oh,
hi, Danielle.
A and B.
Danielle says A.
A.
It's A. It's got to be A.
Okay, we got A.
We've got A.
Okay, A.
Okay. So if you were a superhero, which skill would you rather have? To be able to run really fast or jump really high? And when I say run really fast, you can run up to like 300 miles an hour, something totally unrealistic. So would you be able to jump really high or run really fast? Which one would you prefer to do?
Run really fast.
Run really fast. And why?
Because.
What's the benefits of running really fast?
Because then I could enter like races and win.
Okay.
And win money. Where am I going to jump to? What am I jumping for?
But can you imagine the view? Just.
I could walk up a flight of stairs for a view.
Okay.
Oh,
do you want to?
Actually, I could run up a flight of stairs.
Yeah. Again, these are just random, silly, bizarre questions. Danielle says be invisible. That's interesting.
That's a good one.
I wouldn't mind being invisible.
I would like to be able to shrink myself.
Yeah. And
then I could go in somebody's ear and walk around their brain.
Wow.
See what they're thinking about.
Wow. That's
or shrink myself enough that I could be a fly in the room.
That is a special power for sure. Just have a little waltz around.
Okay, I want to know. I want to know what B is though, because A was lame.
Okay, so B, you have a choice, right? This is the ultimate choice in life left for you to have. The world is at an end, and we have lost everything around us that we love. You have a choice. Which would you rather lose, your teeth or your toes?
Or my what?
Your toes.
My toe boots?
Or your teeth.
Yeah.
You'd have to lose all your teeth or all your toes. Which one?
Oh my God. Teeth.
Lose your teeth.
Yeah, I still need to walk.
Yeah. So you'd have.
And I like my pedicure.
But would you be able to sing the same way with no teeth, though?
Who cares? The world is gone.
Linda Collier says teeth. My big sister Devaney, she says toes.
Yeah, but did you know this fact that if you lose your thumbs or your big toes, insurance pays out huge money for those? You know why?
Because you can't walk properly?
Because you need your thumbs to pick up anything.
Yeah. And
you need your big toe to help you walk.
Yeah,
that's what
true.
balances you. So I'm not gonna be a whole big teeth smile, but I'm tripping over everything.
Oh, you guys are funny. Sorry, MissFly, I've got to look at some of these comments on here. Some people are saying, Linda Collier saying suck it. Sarah's Richardson saying you can whistle. Rebecca said no stubbing your toe on the coffee table. Devaney said you can still walk.
Just take me out, no choice here. I like that. That's awesome. Oh,
so yeah, that's just for fun.
Okay, so I have a question for you, and I know that everybody wants to know this. toilet paper, over or under?
Now, listen, this is a serious issue here. Yeah, this is a serious issue. Who are these underflappers? Who are these people that don't have the toilet roll going over the top? Who are these people that have it going like underneath? If you're on the stream, remove yourself. Remove yourself. No underflapping. We want to flow. We want to flow. We don't want to be fighting. We want to flow.
scraping our knuckles against the wall, trying to get the toilet.
No.
Yeah. You know, so I put on a roll of paper towel, and now paper towel, the edge of it is glued down so hard, you don't know what direction the paper is coming from. So I put it on, and when I pulled the piece, it came from the back. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was angry. I was well vexed. Well vexed, because now I have to take the whole thing off. I have to shimmy it off the thing, because it's not like the one you put it on. It's the one you slide it underneath the cabinet. I had to take the whole thing off and then put it back on.
Oh my God.
I was well vexed.
Linda Collins, the only underflapper here.
But when you go to someone else's house, when people go to someone else's house and they go and use the facilities and they see that they're underflapper, do they change it? Because I do.
So you go into people's houses and change their underflapping toilet roll to overflapping?
Yes. Yes, because I'm thinking maybe they haven't had a flap before.
Yeah, Sam, that doesn't surprise me that you go around changing people's toilet rolls. Similar to you, MissFly.
Me together. Tell you, there's more of us out there. So all those random people who are underflappers.
Yeah.
Michael said, now gone in your bathroom.
Michael said he's going to call his wife an underflapper now. One of the comments on there. Yeah,
hashtag underflappering.
No underflapping. We're overflappers over here.
Okay.
So what gives you the right to go to someone's house and change their underflapping toilet roll for overflapping toilet roll?
You have invited me into your house. You obviously know what kind of person I am. You invited me into your space because you like me. So I'm going to do the... Just going to do it. Just going to do it. Said TP Chuck passing. Oh well, Evan. You'll enjoy it. Trust me. You'll come to the light.
Yeah, one day.
Overflapping.
Underflapping. Side flapping.
And who are these people? Wait a second. Who are these people that put the roll on and then make a triangle? What that?
Yeah, that's some hotel kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not into it.
No.
Just put it on.
No.
3-ply, please. 3-ply, Charmin.
Oh.
The 1-ply can't make it. 2-ply can't make it neither.
It's got to be 3. You're a bit of a comfort girl, are you?
I'll bring my own if it's a problem.
I know. Chad,
I'll pack.
I'm just addressing Chad, one of my friends from North Carolina, I think Chad is from. Chad, these are third world issues. These are third world problems that we're addressing live on Facebook tonight. Okay.
Yeah. I talk for the people, Sully.
Absolutely. And you do it well.
Sorry.
You do it well. Wow. Solara
4-ply if you're nasty.
Solara says 4-ply if you're nasty. Wow. Shout out to Solara. Hey. Keeping it real. I love that.
Jokes and jokes.
Oh dear. Hold on. Sorry, there's just one more comment I've got to read. Rebecca says, of course, then dab it. What's that? Dab it.
Then dab it with tap to seal the point.
Thank you very much, Binks. Oh dear.
That's how you do it now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay, we're good to go. Yep. Okay.
So I got another.
Your question for?
Is it? Yeah, I've got a question for you. Or have you got one for me?
No, I just asked you. Toilet paper over or under.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you another question now. If you were to invite a potential love interest for dinner, what would be your signature dish?
Me, of course. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm totally kidding.
Chat to Devon and see you, Dev.
What I would make for a potential love interest. So my signature dish, I make very good curry goat.
Oh.
And I make very good oxtail. Yes, I see some likes for that.
So just make some notes. Curry goat and oxtail. Yeah.
With rice and peas.
Okay.
No. It all depends. I'm more of a hands kind of eater. So if I made like a seafood broil with lobster and shrimp and scallops and mussels and clams.
You're looking for the thing that night there.
Well, you know, it's a light meal. It's a light meal. It's rich, but it's light.
Nice.
You know, if you add in a bunch of meats and rice and those kind of things, it's going to be a lovely sleeping night.
Yes.
So, you know.
You'll sleep well.
Yeah. It all depends, really. It all depends. I like the idea of snacking and being able to feed each other and doing all that sort of mushy stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Sounds good.
Well, that put me on the spot. Thank you. I am fully blushed.
Well, I had to get one question in. I had to get one in somewhere along the line. But those are great. Those are great choices. I think a lot of people would
What would you make?
What would I make?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I love Caribbean food. My parents are Jamaican, and I grew up on Jamaica. I love all sorts of foods, actually. You know what I'll probably make?
Yeah.
Because I love curry.
Nope.
I love all types of curry. So I would probably, to try and break up the monotony of overdosing on curry goat, which is my favorite, I would probably make like a Thai curry, actually.
Yeah. Good choice.
I'd probably try and make like a Thai curry with some.
Okay. Tofu or no tofu?
Sorry?
Tofu or no tofu?
Nah, we're not dealing with tofu. We're dealing with food, man. You know what I mean? In my house, tofu, no.
Don't be a tofu hater.
I'm not. Hey, Danielle, beans on toast, you know. I can do way better than beans on toast. I'll have you know, Danielle, thank you very much. But yeah, I'd probably go for like either a red or Thai curry, some rice, maybe nice rice. I know that sounds
right?
Jasmine rice, coconut rice.
Coconut?
Yeah,
coconut rice. Sticky.
Yeah, something like that, really. As I say, I'm a. Okay, cool. Some interesting comments coming through. Solly would come to Costco for the ingredients. You guys need to give me some. Listen, I baked a cake one time about 2 years ago, and I posted it on my social media, and it was pineapple upside down, and I was bloody proud of that. Some of you guys might remember that. I'm not too sure, but yeah. No, and also because I can see the comments here about bad belly and needing toilet roll. Nobody has had a bad stomach from eating my food ever. Just to address that.
Well, the good thing is that if they need to bring their own toilet roll, hopefully they're overflappers.
Listen,
and not underflappers.
No underflappers are allowed in my yard. No underflappers.
ASL Bake Off.
Sorry?
Somebody's suggesting an ASL Bake Off, and I think that could be a next live stream.
Oh my God. What, me, Antonio, and CK? CK's a bit of a chef, though. CK cooks. Yeah, I know, but you'd probably smash us all, though. It wouldn't be fair if you joined us as well.
Not necessarily.
I know
Not
CK can chef. I'm not sure about Antonio, though. Do you see Antonio frying plantain and seasoning up curry goat and...
You hear?
I don't know. Maybe, you know what, when me and Antonio are doing the show on Monday, I'm going to ask him about his cooking skills.
I think an ASL Bake Off would be incredible.
Yeah, probably. No, not cooking in my boxes. No. So I think we're kind of coming to the end of it now, really. We've been going for nearly like 2 hours. So it's been really great that everyone's joined us tonight. It's been interesting. It's been funny. It's been bizarre at times as well, but thoroughly enjoyable all the same. Is there any, should we,
So do you want,
I was going to ask you if you...
We have one more question, but we don't have one. So
I have one more for you.
Like...
I have one more for you.
Oh, okay.
But I think we want to throw it out to the guys on the stream if they want to ask me or you any questions, I guess.
So I think what we could do is if there is any questions, we could answer them separately.
Yeah.
But I think for the last question, if we throw out, or the second last question, a question that both of us have to answer. So one question that both of us have to answer.
Okay.
I think that this question.
Okay. All right, I'm down with it.
Is Solly married? Oh, go ahead, Chad. Look at us.
So yeah, so guys, you can ask one question. Okay, there you go. But it's not. I can't really. I can answer it. I can answer. Angie Bryant has said, "What's your favorite perfume?"
Neroli. No, I'm just kidding.
Empress Neroli. Are you wearing the Neroli today?
Neroli.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm more of I like scented oils, so I spend less on actual perfume, but I like to put patchouli and orange and mandarin and grapefruit into an oil and use that. But Flora is another one that I quite like, by Gucci.
Okay.
So.
Oh, we got a few questions now.
Oh, hi, Mom. My mom's on.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. My mom's asking me, what's your favorite flower?
Mine.
I mean, she's asking me, but yeah.
Favorite flower. I have some flowers that I grow actually. I think they're called chrysanthemums, red ones. Are they red? Yeah, I quite like them because they grow really well.
That's my.
Is that a plant or a flower?
No, it's a flower, and it's my plant for my month. Chrysanthemums. Yeah. It's a good choice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good choice. You're welcome. My mom says hi to both.
Oh, hi, Mom. Nice. Thank you for joining us on the stream. I'm just trying to get through to some of these questions because what's your go-to dance to lift you up? That's coming from Joanna.
But is that for me or for both of us? Okay. Right now, my track right now is one that you know that I like.
Yeah.
Taken by Your Love.
Yeah.
By Crystal.
That's a beautiful song.
That song.
Beautiful song.
Yeah, that song reminds me of barbecues and family and love and just wholesome, love for your kids, and so that song makes me feel really happy.
Yeah, man, it's a great song. It's for me. It's got like that old school love feel about it, like we were talking about earlier. About you mentioned people like Marvin Gaye and Gladys Knight, those people that sung real love songs. And when I later when I said that the love songs are becoming, like, for me anyway, fewer and far further between. But that Crystal Lavelle song, oh, great tune, great tune.
Yeah.
And I know CK's been playing that on his show as well for a little while now. And I've got to say, it's the first time I heard it on CK's show, to be honest with you. So big shout out to CK.
Yeah, same here.
CK, you're doing your job well, my brother. You're doing your job well, my brother. You're doing my job well.
The interesting thing about CK shows, they're usually on like 4:30 a.m. here.
Yeah.
And I'll get tagged in the show and I'll turn on the show. I'll listen for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I'll close the phone. And then I'm like, but I have to log back on.
Yeah.
Then I log back on and I'm on it till like 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
I shower and I'm listening to it. So yeah, it's addictive.
It's a great song. There's a couple other questions on there. Do you want to answer those ones? Musical?
Yeah, I'm looking. Yes, I love you too, Crystal. Big time. Oh, here we go. Who would I do a duet with? Omar. So if you can hook that up, let's hook that up.
That would be great. You and Omar on the track.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
If enough
I've seen
people,
Omar so many times.
He's my friend on Facebook. So if enough people want it, then we can get something going. Like a This Is
put
Best
it
by
out, we should
Far.
just put it out there. Put it out there for sure. That you and
Yeah.
you and Omar make a track.
Whew.
That'd
be good stuff.
That would be something. That would be good to see live, actually, as well. Performed live. You and Omar on stage would be amazing.
So this is a bit of a well, we're gonna talk about it now. Well, I'm bringing it up now. The hopes is that when I come to the UK, we can put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
That ultimately is what you know I would love to be able to do, and also invite some of the producers that I work with and be able to do those songs on stage with a live band and an orchestra and those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all the things that currently are in the making.
Brilliant. So 2021 looks to be like an amazing year going forwards for you also. And of course, once you touch down in London, you've got to come and hang out with the ASL family, of course. Shout out to CK and my brother Antonio Pascal as well, each and every time.
Of course. Yeah, that we'll be like the asylum patients are running the streets. That'll be fun.
We've been let loose, and I'm sure a lot of your fans over here would love to come out and hear you perform and see you live. And also,
and also my dance with Morph. I mean, that has to happen. Mm-hmm. At least once, it has to happen.
Yeah. Evan Landers has put a comment saying, "Has he missed the discussion about heaven?"
Yeah,
that was kind of at the top from about 2 hours ago almost. We've been talking for nearly 2 hours.
But for those who did miss it, Heaven comes out officially tomorrow with Deep Soul Syndicate and Morehouse Records. Mm-hmm. And, I'm really, really happy with that song, and it means a lot. Mm-hmm. And I hope that everybody enjoys it and dances to it and listens to it. And, yeah, that's my hope. So
it is
Track Sort.
It is a great
tomorrow.
Song. It's almost like 8 minutes to midnight here before it goes out on Track Source in the UK, if I'm correct. So guys, if you haven't heard the song, you can get that in about 10 minutes if you like. I'm hoping it goes live at midnight.
You can pre-order it now.
Oh, true.
And you don't have to wait.
Yeah.
You can pre-order it now, and then tomorrow it will drop into it will tell you that it's available for download. Yeah. It'll download it for you.
I think it's an amazing song for sure.
And also, please, share the if you're friends with me or you're friends with you, share the stream, share the post that we put up, and and so that we can keep enjoying music.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. There's a question that's been repeated 3 times in here. I think CK has copied and pasted it because he might not have seen it. I had seen it, but it's from Brother Basil originally. Can you see that comment? Question for both of you. Who inspires you all around musically? Who musically, right? Okay, so basically musical inspirations.
So if I go back, I would say Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Nina Simone. If I went back that far, but if I get closer, I would say Jill Scott and Erykah Badu are huge influences on me because they didn't sound like everybody else. They did their own thing, and it enabled people like me who had this different kind of way of wanting to put music out there, that it gave me an opening. I didn't have to be, like the Mary J. Bliges or the Faith Evans, which they're all great, but I just didn't have that. So yeah, they came out and changed the game, and now we have these young people coming out. Lena de Havlas.
Leanne de Havlas, I think her name is.
Brilliant. Doesn't follow, just does her own thing, and those are songs that I believe would be timeless in years to come, right?
Yeah.
So that I think for me, yeah, and then the guys would be Curtis Mayfield, Lonnie Liston Smith.
Oh, Lonnie's a legend.
Yeah.
Mm.
And anybody who's willing to do something different, Kamal Williams,
Oh,
Chromeo, you know, just willing to sort of say music doesn't have to be in this box. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
You know, you could have a whole track of someone going beep, beep, boop, beep, 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 and it can be, you know, it can resonate with someone as long as it's got a good beat.
Yeah.
You know, it resonates. So I think music doesn't have to be stodgy anymore. You know, the massive record labels that sort of geared you towards what you needed to listen to all the time are gone. So now you can essentially put out whatever you feel, and, you know, some things stick to the wall and some things stick to the floor.
Yeah, and it's a great point that you just made there, but now, you know, you can put out whatever you want now. Sometimes it's questionable, but in terms of having that freedom as an artist, of course, that's brilliant. You don't need a label to tell you to put a song out. You can do it all yourself now, can't you? With full integrity and full, you know, the imagery that you want, the sound that you want, and, you know, everything else that comes with that.
Yeah, of course. So who do you like?
You mentioned some of the names already. And again, a lot of this goes back to my childhood and growing up. My dad was a great record collector and some amazing records. And again, going back to my Jamaican roots, you know, reggae was my first and foremost type of music that I, you know, recognized. So obviously I mentioned Bob Marley as being one of the people, you know, that I would have loved to interview if that in a perfect world. But a lot of the reggae artists, like the obvious, when I say obvious, they are obvious, but they're legends like Dennis Brown to Gregory Isaacs, bands like Burning Spear, Culture, you know, a lot of the
Lee Scratch Perry,
that generation, the 70s roots and culture is kind of my foundation of music. So, you know, those guys are the foundation for me. But, you know, on the soul, then yeah, Curtis Mayfield, can't forget James Brown.
No.
Lonnie Liston Smith you mentioned as well. And another guy, which I totally...
Roy Ayers.
Sorry?
Roy Ayers.
Roy Ayers. The Revolution will not be televised. His name's just gone. Sorry?
Oh, the Revolution will be televised is, oh my, I just saw him in my head.
Someone on there, tell me his name. Tell me his name.
Yeah.
Gil Scott Heron. Gil Scott Heron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and also, like, I for artists, I think one of the reasons why these guys kind of stand out for me is because they weren't just musicians. You know, they were social commentators, and especially, you know, with the civil rights movement, these guys were using their platforms to send a message. And, you know, music for me has always been more than just something to listen to. It's about something to feel. It's about what you're saying, you know, whether it's love, whether it's social injustice, all of those things for me. So those are the reasons why those kind of guys are my kind of like, you know, foundation guys. And there's a whole load of great, amazing artists as well that obviously have come. Anderson .Paak is one of my guys that I check for right now in the more current era. I love Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Childish Gambino, those guys that are a little bit kind of, you know, kind of out there a little bit. And yeah. I love those guys because they've got the bravery to execute it. And like you said before, we're in a time now where things are a bit more acceptable than they were before, you know.
Yeah.
You know, or people are more open to receiving things a little bit more, you know.
Well, and I also think with this, you know, one of the things that we lack now that we did have back then was more leadership. Yeah. There's more leadership in terms of who were the ones that were singing about the civil rights movement. There was like a collection of them. And now it's sort of, you're finding out, but you're able to dig into to music and find these artists that are so left field that are not getting any love, but they're talking about things that matter. So and those guys really, when you look at guys like We're Gonna Be All Right, we talked about this.
Kendrick Lamar.
What is his name?
Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, Kendrick Lamar. When you talk about guys like Kendrick Lamar, who just every, I mean, not, and don't get me wrong, not every single track is a track that I'm in love with, but when he does it well, he does it really well, right? So buy music, because these guys need to survive off of purchase of music, not, you know, downloading and
just want to shout out brother Basil. We said that he's seen Winston Rodney from Burning Spear 6 times.
Nice.
Yeah, those guys are legends, man. I still play those albums. These are albums that I grew up with as a kid. These are albums that I scratched my dad's record, and trust me, I learned the hard way never to do it again. You know, so even when I play certain of them tunes, it reminds me of childhood as well. So those are the, you know, kind of memories that never really leave you. And Culture as well, another reggae group that I was big into as well.
Nice.
So it's midnight in the UK. So to be honest with you, I'm quite surprised that we still stayed on for so long. And there's still some people that have hung out with us from the very beginning. And there's more questions coming through now. Should we answer a couple more and then round it up? Or should we keep going?
I think that this might be something that we could potentially do again.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You're pretty good company there, Mr. Brown.
I try my best. Yeah. You're not too bad yourself.
You're doing well.
Sorry?
You're doing well.
Oh, thank you.
I said you're doing well.
You're very kind.
You're welcome.
You're very kind. You're
yes.
very kind. It was again, love you guys, man. Loving the comments. Really lovely comments from all of you guys, man. Manda's saying please don't go. She's just returned. That's why she doesn't want us to go. Big shout out to Kelly. She said you two have been great. CK saying yes. Linda Collier, she loves this. Thank you, Linda. Really appreciated. Big shout out to CK. He's got work to do. He's having a sneaky peek. Big shout out to Wayne. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We've got one more question. I think it was from Joe on there. And then I've got my last question for you. And I think we'll wrap it up for tonight, if that's cool with you. Yeah.
Sure.
I think Joe asked, what was the favourite gig that you've ever been to? The best gig that you've ever been to?
That I've been to? Not performed in, just been to.
Yeah.
Okay. So I saw SOS Band and, oh my goodness. I'm going to look like I don't know what I'm talking about. Cameo.
Yeah.
In North Carolina, outside of the raceway. So big, like, race people down there, Dale Earnhardt, like, they love their racing, right? Like, everybody's out there just to go to the racetrack on a Sunday, that kind of thing. So there's like a parkade right across the street, and I saw SOS Band and Cameo. And Cameo, if you know Cameo, you know that the lead singer used to have like a red.
The Reds.
Thing.
Yeah.
Well, he came out, and now he's much older, right? And you know, you have the beer belly now, so your crotch thing now has to be bigger, because if it's smaller, it gets lost in all the belly.
Yeah.
And he came out on stage with this thing, and
he's still wearing it.
He could barely walk. Yes, and he could barely walk. He looked like it was okay. So that part of it was, I wished for more, because it was the 25th anniversary of what's the song there? Come on, ding ding ding.
Word up. Word up. Is it Word Up? Oh, I think we've lost her for a sec, or she's just gone frozen. I think we might have lost her. I think I'm going to hold on and hope that it unfreezes and she comes back. Yeah, it looks that way. Oh dear, that's a shame. Hold on, let's see if we can try and reconnect her again. Ah, so I think she's gone. I think she's I'm not sure if we can get her back. I think I'm gonna just hold on for a minute or two, and just see if she does actually join us back again, and we'll actually finish it off. Morph Team, I'm not going to sing a song because my voice is terrible, and you already know that. Okay, so here we are. She's back, and she's coming back. There you go.
Hello, I'm back.
Yeah, there was all. I'm glad you came back. They were wanting me to tell jokes and sing songs and all sorts of stuff, and
we don't.
You don't want to hear me sing.
We don't do that here. Not on a Wednesday.
No, we leave the singing to the singers and the talking to the talkers, and the playing to the players. But I just want to round it up, really. Is there anything else that you want to add before we call it a night?
No, because I have no idea what I was talking about before that whole thing happened.
And
so it's okay. We can move on. We can move on.
Yeah. Okay, so the big question, and someone did ask this already in the chat, and I did kind of skim over it, and I want to shout out Pamela Selina, who actually asked the question, which I'm going to ask you right now. And the question is how did you acquire the name MissFly?
So
actually, sorry to cut you, MissFly. Sorry to cut you. We were talking about Cameo.
Oh, yes. Cameo came out. He couldn't come out on the stage because this thing was too big, and it was the 25th anniversary of Word Up, and they didn't even do it. I was like, wait a second here. I spent all this money to see this red crotch man who just looked like some old man who was wearing a Depends or one of those diapers. But SOS Band, come on. They are just tight. They are so tight that, I mean, I don't even remember anybody else that was playing except for those two, because it was the worst and the best. And so I would pay money, big money, to see SOS Band anywhere in the world. But never again will I go to a Cameo show. Yes.
No, it's kind of killed it for you, has it? Yeah. You're welcome. So I'll tell you what, let me quickly answer that question, and then we'll come to Pamela's question, which is how you acquired the name MissFly. I think I've got two concerts that I've been to in my life which totally wowed me. The first one was in 1989. I was 15, 16 at the time, and my parents didn't know I was going out to go and see Public Enemy at the Brixton Academy. It was part of the Def Jam tour with LL Cool J and a couple of other artists. I can't remember who else was on that bill, but seeing Public Enemy on stage was just like mind-blowing for me, because I was a massive fan of theirs, but to see the whole crew, Flavor Flav, the S1Ws, DJ Terminator X, Chuck D, like it was like, and when they came on the stage, it was like, oh my God, like, yeah. So I think that was probably one of the best concerts, the Impact concert, that I was just like, oh my God. I remember looking around the whole of Brixton Academy, and everyone was just in this place, man. So as Impact kind of gigs, definitely. Public Enemy 1989, when they and around that time there was the whole controversy around them as well, because they were talking about a lot of political stuff, as we all know. So, and as a young man growing up as well and experiencing some of those political issues, I was like, these are my guys, man. Public Enemy, they're talking the message that I'm experiencing. They're talking about things that, you know, I'm dealing with, and I could relate to that as well. Big shout out to Carl saying Hijack was there. Yep. There you go, Carl. That's it. So yeah, around that time it was great. But more recently, I went to Jazz Cafe about 2 years ago before lockdown, and I saw one of my favorite producers, a guy called Kaidi Tatum and Digo, who are two great producers, and they've been around for about 20-30 years, creating different genres of music: drum and bass, jungle, jazz, broken beat. So to watch my two producers working on the same stage together, and for the guys that do know about Kaidi Tatum and Digo, they're part of a group called Four Hero. Yeah, they're talented music, so talented. My jaw was like, oh my god, like, so yeah.
Nice.
I was a bit geeked by that, I can't lie.
Well, you need to share some of those links with me, because
yeah, for sure.
You gotta keep me. You gotta get me in the know.
I will do. I will do.
Okay,
so to finally call it a night, we're going to finish on Pamela's question, which we've kind of gone about the houses about, but we're here. How did you get the name MissFly?
So MissFly was given to me because I was able to go into a studio and off the top of my head sing something to what was playing. So I never used to leave the studio. I was a sure bet. I would go in and I would record something and give the engineer enough to work with, the producer enough to work with, that we could do a track. So I didn't usually spend more than one day on a song in the studio. I used to be able to do it on the fly. And so they gave me this nickname. First it was J-Fly, and then it was Butterfly for a while, which was odd. And then MissFly came about, which is one word, not two, it's one word.
That is actually a thing you wanted to make clear as well, isn't it? That
I did.
If people are looking for your work, your music, it's not Ms., it's not Miss, it's not Mrs., it's MissFly, written as one word, right?
Yeah, and it's capital M-I-S-S, capital F-L-Y, no space. And the reason, if you go on TrackSource and you type in Miss and then space fly, I won't come up. If you go online, you know, and you look for that, it might give you a whole bunch of other things as well. So, yeah, so I've been called Fly because it's on the fly.
So Linda Collier's actually put up the correct spelling. So,
thank you,
on
Linda.
the final note, I'm going to invite, and I hope you're ready for this, MissFly. I'm going to invite some of the people on the chat to give us, how many words shall we say? 3 words? 2 words? 1 word?
An idea, maybe? A thought?
An idea. So what I'm going to challenge MissFly to do, guys, is if we can give her a word to sing, to freestyle some lyrics about. Would you be up for doing that for us, MissFly?
Sure. Anything for
so
you.
One word.
Family.
Thank you very much.
Or like not an idea, not a word, but a subject.
Like a sentence, a phrase?
No, a subject matter.
Subject matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like going to the horse races.
CK said ASL. We're not doing any more dub plates.
We're not
Brother
doing
Basil
another dub plate.
is saying hope.
Oh.
A word or a circumstance or...
Hope. I like hope. Food is a good one. Brexit.
We're not doing politics and we're not feeding animals on this show.
Goddess, good food. Okay.
Which one are you going to choose?
I'm going to try them all.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope, yes, I hope you serve the goddess in you with some delicious food. 'Cause I know in your spirit that Pornhub's your call. Come on, people. Come on. You gotta give me some good words.
Come on, guys. Keep the words coming. Keep the words coming.
You gotta keep the words coming so I can continue singing. Let's do this. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I love the faith you have. My favorite food is mashed potatoes and garlic. I add that too. Oh, Solly, you're so good to me to have me on this show with you. Okay. And I think that's it.
Someone said warm
the
milk.
words ran out. Come on, you got to do better than this for the next.
You guys are letting me down, man. I want you to fire her with some words. So, all right, we've got one more go at this. One more go, right? The words are coming in now. So you go when you're ready.
Feed them to me because I can't read them as well.
Okay.
Your compassion may be battered by Solly's curry gold, but my toe tapping chef styles will make lasagna for whole. We got that delicious curry gold in London town. We can sing about Africa and mad dogs and Englishmen. I think are the same. Surrender to your cheesecake, 'cause it'll bring you joy. But that rice and peas will stick to you like trousers in a storm or a unicorn.
Oh,
come on, people.
Thank you so much.
Wait, you are just hungry. Oh,
you want to keep going? You want to keep going? Can you keep going?
The jerk chicken is cheesy, and my heartbreak is crotch pocketed, and tom tits, bananas, and chicken pies is gross. The music in me is hard to believe that I'm well done and well pleased. That's it. That's it.
Thank you very much for that. You was a brilliant sport. And thanks for the guys that have suggested some. They're still coming through. We've got root, we've got pineapple, we've got those little tin sucky sweets.
Pineapple and itis. Ha ha ha. The Hooters chicken wings are awesome, by the way. And ha 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 ha.
Okay.
Hands emoji. Fly. Yeah. Unroll the flaps.
Yeah.
The hands and the hearts and the hands and the hearts. First lady, yeah. Okay, all right, guys.
Enough now. I'm worried about where this is going to go. I'm worried about where this is going to go.
Listen, have you seen Anchorman? This just reminded me of Anchorman. There's a scene in Anchorman where they mess with Will Ferrell because his character only reads the prompter. So they change all the words on the prompter and he just says whatever's there. That's how this is going. Mm-hmm.
So big respect to you, MissFly, actually singing it off the fly. I thought we'd have to draw a line because I could see some people were getting into some areas which they can't help themselves. But big shout to you guys. It wouldn't be you guys if you didn't bring it down a level or two.
But the good thing is, because I'm from North America, I don't understand this cheeky London cheekiness. So I'm over here singing about tiny tits and tiny tots and friggy froths and all kinds of things. and I don't know anything
Yeah,
that I'm
yeah.
singing, so that's okay.
Well, thanks to the guys online with their great suggestions as well, and
Yeah.
proving why you're called MissFly, because you can do it just off the fly
No. See, I
as
think we're
well.
setting a bar here, though. This is the thing. Next, we'll
Yeah.
have
Should we,
you.
is there anyone online that thinks that we should do this again?
Yeah, let us
You
know.
guys need your own show together. Yeah. Thanks, Michael. Big love, MissFly. So
Thank
yeah.
you.
I want to thank you for joining me tonight on the feed, MissFly. It's been an absolute joy.
Anytime.
It's been hilarious as well in parts. And a massive shout out to all the guys that stuck with us for just over 2 hours. Really wasn't expecting to be in a conversation for like 2.5 hours. But more importantly, Heaven is out now. You can go and get that. It's on Track Source. If you haven't heard it already, there's a couple of links that MissFly has posted on her page earlier this week, just to get a flavour. CK's played it on his show also. It has been played. There are a few DJs that are playing it also.
Yeah.
And
Brother
MissFly,
Basil
I'll
also
give
plays
you,
it.
Sorry?
Brother Basil plays it on his
Yeah.
show as well. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so,
you to
yeah.
thank you to all of you that support the music, play the music, share music with me, send me DMs of love and hope and words of encouragement. You know, support is not always support is just support, and I take it how you give it. So I'm blessed. I really am. So yeah.
Okay. And Mike V. Adams has nicely attached the link for the song on there as well, guys. So
that's awesome.
go support your artists, especially at this time, especially at any time, but go and buy. Yes, Joanna, I can chat. That's my job. And I love my job. I could do this for days. I feel no way about it. Thank you.
I think we should. What if we do an ASL stream?
Well, all
And
four of us.
yeah, I think that
Yeah,
would be
that would be
dope.
fun. That would be fun. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, of course.
You know. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to say my farewells. I will leave the final word to you, MissFly. I love your song, by the way, and I hope that it does even better than your other song that came out and reached a really high spot in the Track Source chart. So guys, get behind this song. It's beautiful. It's an amazing song. The vocals, the lyrics, the production, there's nothing really that you can't say. I personally have said that it's a song which could make a movie or a film score. That's how much I like the production and the feel of the song as well. So from me, good night all, and thank you again so much. You guys are awesome. One or two of you are a bit mad, but that kind of makes the fabric for everything in life. We need a bit of mixture and a bit of variety. Yeah. Do it on Instagram, Danielle says. Do it on Instagram. Maybe. We could do it on Instagram.
We may do it on Patreon.
Also available on Patreon, for those that know about Patreon. Yes.
You know what? If you like this, because this will become shareable, so share it. And, you know, I mean, I would love to come and have one of these hangs with you. I think these are great.
For sure.
So.
I think what we'll do is when you know the lockdown is over and the borders are all open, I think we'll have a podcast. We'll do a podcast of sorts, and we'll do it in live in the same place.
In the flesh.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So guys, thanks again. It's been a great night, man. And as I say, so many of you hung out with us from the beginning right through. I can't thank you guys enough. I said to MissFly before when we were talking about doing this that do you think anyone's going to join us? Do you think anyone's going to actually log in? And yeah, there was quite a few people. Really appreciated it all. So MissFly, I'm going to say farewell to you, and obviously we will talk soon, and hopefully we will see you in London. At a live show and things, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the year, and good luck with the song Heaven. I'm going to push it and get everyone to get behind it as well, because it is an awesome song, and you're an awesome artist. So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much
on the Facebook Live.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys
Yeah.
this weekend because you have a live stream with ASL this weekend. Barbara Lee and
Yes.
Andrew Reed's
Yes.
party.
Yes, we
So I'm
do.
excited for that. I'm going to get my snacks because I know how
Yes.
you guys love to go for like 15 days. So I'm going to get
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
my Haribos because now you guys got me on that kick.
Yeah,
So
for
I'm going to
sure.
need a
For
dentist
sure.
pretty
For
soon.
sure.
And
Yeah.
my roasted peanuts in solidarity with Antonio getting his 6-pack.
His 6-pack. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work on that with him and trying to get him fit again, you know.
Yeah. That's okay.
But yeah,
It's going to
okay.
be good.
So guys,
All right.
thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Good night.
Good night, and we speak to you
Thank you
all
very much.
soon. Yeah. Love to all.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. Bye-bye. Take care, Miss Fly. Bye-bye.
Yeah. You too. Bye.
Bye.
You got to end the stream.
Yes.